Hi everybody, welcome back to Bobby's Bucks, and today I wanted to talk about tree stands. I like to hunt in all different kinds of stands. I also like to hunt on the ground. I like to use a climber, a saddle, all that stuff. So I wanted to talk about some of the stands I've used over the years and what I prefer for public and private. Here we go. Right over my shoulder, this is a ladder stand that I have my dad hunt out of. He's 70 years old, and this stand is one of those, easy up, easy down type of stands, and it's got railings on it, and everybody feels pretty secure. I still, we still use safety harnesses and everything, but a lot of people don't even use those, which I don't recommend, out of these because the railings and everything, you just feel so comfortable. So, and plus, if you're going to be hunting public land, this is the type of thing you put up. It's harder to take down, disassemble, and steal. This is one of those stands I'd recommend for state land. If you don't want to use a climber or a saddle, these ladder stands work great. This is your traditional, typical tree stand. It only costs about 50 bucks, and some of them cost more, and those are the lightweight ones, the high-grade aluminum steel, and that's going to cost you more money. But you can find these stands for right around 50 bucks, and they work great. I mean, it's so nice to be able to have a permanent stand there that you can get in and get out quietly. But when it comes to public land, people like these stands, they'll steal them. There's a lot of things that thieves carry to cut cables and locks. So when it comes to public land, some people still hang their stand and they take their chances, but I just wouldn't recommend it. So, and I have something for state land. So over my shoulder, this is a Hunter's View climber, and these climbers, these stands in general, their stands are really comfortable. A lot of padding, and I went ahead and carpeted the bottom platform just to make it so when I'm moving around. And it was a great stand. It's about 15 years old, and I don't even know if they actually make these stands anymore. But a real comfortable climber, you can't beat that. And that stand, we still use it from time to time, but we have a better climber, and we'll get to that. So, for the longest time, I had my eye on this climber, and I've only owned it for about 3 years, and I can't say enough good things about it. The Lone Wolf climber is amazing. They have a couple different models, and this is the lighter weight model. It's a little less comfortable than the other one, only because you don't get the extras with the railings and the other stuff. And I don't really want that, because being a mobile hunter, being somebody who's going to be hiking sometimes far distances, I don't want the extra weight. And this climber does everything I need it to. And it's quiet. It's got the high composite, the strong composite straps that make no noise. So this is a little bit pricier. It's right around $400, but this stand is probably the best climber I've ever used. Super quiet. You can come in the dark, in the morning, and set up with very little noise. Bobby, what is your preferred stand that you want to hunt out of? Well, it depends on what I'm doing. Am I hunting private? Because I'd like to have stands already hung up. Being able to shoot my bow, out of a normal stand is great. There's only certain things that a saddle can do that a traditional stand can't. This saddle is perfect and ideal for public land. If you don't want your stuff to get stolen, you can go into an area, hunt the spot, set up, tear down with very little noise. There was a spot that I seen there was a lot of activity. I would take in my saddle because I can set up and tear down in a few minutes. And so let me show you how it works. Pull my lineman belt out, and I'll clip on right here to my lineman loop. Okay. So now that I have my lineman belt on, I can lean back and I can work, I can put the next stick on. Now the sticks are hanging right down in my saddle. I've got one hanging on this side of my saddle and then the other one hanging on this side. And the first one I already hung on about chin level. So I'm standing on the very top, okay? So now I can rest. I just climbed up the tree. So now what I'll do, I'll take my tether out. Okay, so I've got that tether on there now. So this is my bridge. This is what is on my right hip, and then it's attached to my left hip. Okay, this is what's actually gonna hook up and you're gonna hang from. So this is the line, I get the lineman belt out of the way. So what I'll do is I'm gonna hook this bridge up. So I'll take this, I'll adjust it down where I can get it hooked up to my bridge. I'll grab my bridge, and now I'm hooked on. And then I'll adjust it up to the point where that lineman belt starts to get slack. So now I'm secure with my lineman belt, and I actually now, I can start to feel slack in that lineman belt. So now I'm gonna unhook from my lineman belt, take this off, and this goes back in my saddlebag, okay? I'm good, I'm ready. I'm ready to take my backpack off. I'm ready to put my bow loop, my bow strap up, and I'm using the ground for an example, but you can come over here and you can twist around, and there's a little groove in this carabiner. See, there's a little groove right there. And that's where you want your rope to be stuck in, because it helps it slide when you're maneuvering your hips. Because when you're hanging from this and you want to shoot, sometimes it helps to turn your hips over, turn them over this way and shoot this way. So I'm always bow hunting. So first things first, this is our muddy stick. There's a lot of different sticks out there, and I'll show you how easy it is to hook this thing up. This weighs a little under 3 pounds, and I carry in 3. So all you do is, usually I hang right around, for video purposes, I'm not gonna hang that high. The first stick around chin level, and then I'll just use my aider to, then I'll take what's left, go back behind it, and come down in this little hoop and knot it right there. And now it's not going anywhere, and I even take this and put it through the bottom cleat so it's out of the way. And I push it down and it's on there. And I always just give it a little bit of a pull, so now it's just really solid. So what is an aider? So this right here is an aider. This is what I'll put on the top step of my stick, and then I'll climb up, and I actually tie this to my saddle so I never drop it. We'll put our toe through the aider first when we're climbing, so we have our boot in there, and we'll put this on the very top step like this. When you're going up, you want this string, this leash that's tied to you, to be on the top when you're going up. So have it up when you're going up and have it down when you're going down, or this will get too tight on you. Aider through the foot, toe in the tree, step up, pull it off the step, and just keep climbing. So when I'm going down, it's just the opposite. I got the string on the bottom, I'll pull it tight until I get down here, toe on the tree, and that's how I get down using the aider. Okay, so I'm climbing up the tree, and normally as soon as I stand on my first stick, I'll take my lineman's belt out and I'll immediately click on. now I can lean back and I can kind of get situated. You can adjust this. And what I'll do is I'll take my backpack off. My bow is still on the ground, and I'll get my platform out. I actually have a carabiner here where I can click it right here, and I can work the platform out of my bag this way. So now it does have a steel buckle, so you want to be careful not to clank it. The way that you get these to bite is you push them down and then open them up. Now that thing is not going to be moving at all. So now how do you get on the platform? Well, first I'll get my backpack back on. Now, some people just climb into it. But what I do is I use the aider again. I'll pull out my tether. This is the last thing that's in my sys hauler. And I'll get this around the tree over to the side. So now all I have to do is just take my aider and just clip it on. And now I just take my boot, put it in the aider, and you know, this only takes a matter of seconds. And then once I'm in here, hook onto my bridge, readjust this. And wrap that around the tree. And then this goes back in the aider goes back in my bag. But for public land hunts, you can get up and in with this platform. You can shoot in all angles. You can come over here to the tree. You really get to learn your equipment. You can shoot this way. You can come over here and shoot to your right. I mean, you're really, and that thing really doesn't move. You really have to push and kick on that thing. I mean, you really can. So, you just gotta learn your equipment. And you'll learn how to make all these shots. You know, you can even go through the bridge with your hand like this and shoot that way. So, but I really like it. You know, I've even slept like this. So conclusion, what's my favorite stand? I like them all. You know, I really do. I mean, if it comes to private and you have ladder stands or hang-on stands for easy in and out quietly, you know, that's great. But I mean, if you're hunting public land and a climber or a saddle isn't an option, then those ladder stands would be good, because people don't necessarily want to break them down and steal them. If you're a young guy, got a strong back, then those climbers, those $200 climbers, are completely doable. But if you're a little bit older, that lone wolf is only 15 pounds. It costs a little bit more, but if you're willing to save or invest some money in your stand, what a great public land stand. But the tree has to have no limbs on it. It has to be a straight tree. So that's the problem with those climbers, and they're a little bit heavier. So the ultimate public land stand, I would probably recommend the saddle. And I know that's probably a big jump for some people. They don't want to learn a new way to hunt, but I think once you try it, it probably doesn't matter what saddle you buy. They're all comfortable and they're all safe. Most importantly, you are not going to fall out of this thing because you got your lineman, you're always attached, you got your saddle hooked up to your bridge and your tether. So if you have any questions, please leave them below. And until next time, thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next video.